China lately has been crumbling, and now China is considering tapping $278 billion in offshore funds to stabilize their stock market. Plus, another one bites the dust as hedge fund Asia Genesis shuts after big mistake on China trying to time the bottom of their indexes. The fund says, in quotes, that their trading strategies no longer stand up to the new trading strategies of the market and they are losing confidence as traders in a, in quotes, disastrous January. Now, this fund did manage over $330 million at the start of the year and is now handing money back to clients. Plus, BlackRock is selling Shanghai office towers for 30% below purchase price. That value will probably keep declining and they know that. Moving on, the great shift is happening in South Korea. South Korea's financial regulator announced a temporary ban on stock short selling until the end of July. Basically, the too long didn't read is that South Korea's financial regulators are cracking down on short selling, which we have covered in the past, and identified hedge funds as well as investment banks that are guilty of the practice and issued fines. In the wake of the sweeping regulation and enforcement action, we are starting to see global investment banks shuffling personnel. Now, the great crackdown is happening at least in South Korea, and in today's video, we have a ton of stuff to cover with AMC. I'm going to kind of give you some data as well as charts, and then what Adam Aaron tweeted, as well as another fund adding to AMC at these levels. But the other day, we called out DWAC, symbol DWAC, Digital World Acquisition Corp, and it has been up over 131% since the call out. So let me know in the comments down below if you have been playing DWAC. I know somebody in Discord made some gains off of it. And we also double touched on it on members only on the channel 2 days ago, saying, hey, listen, DWAC is at this fourth touch point. It's looking for a nasty breakout, and we got that nasty breakout. Another one I'm just going to put on your radar that is ripping today is FaZe, ticker symbol FAZE, FaZe Holdings. And there are a couple more that are being called out in Discord, but we'll leave those to Discord. Now, Chart Exchange is reporting a high dark pool volume on AMC. You can see right here, this is off exchange volume coming all the way up to that 65% level. To be exact, 66.56%. And this was on the sell-off yesterday when AMC came all the way up to $4.80 and then came down to $4.40. So it came up and they dropped it back down. And this is very, very similar to what we have been tracking. However, that slight sell-off came a bit early, right? From the bottom, AMC ran up 20% to this top wick over here and then dropped about 10.47% before scaling higher. And that drop took about 2 days. If we take a look at the past 2 days, first of all, from the bottom, 20%, that matches up pretty closely. And then the top of the wick down 10.16% would be at the next level between 435 and 430. Anywhere in that zone would be where AMC would retrace to, hopefully today, before scaling higher. A lot of your stocks, what does this mean? Well, essentially, it doesn't really mean that 475 or 525 has to get hit at the tap and then the scale down. This could have already been it, and we could potentially fly right off of this level at $4.30 as soon as we hit there, and we could enter that blue part of the cycle before getting that launch higher. And that will correlate over to the market and some stocks that we're going to talk about. Now, funds are scooping up a beaten down AMC stock ahead of recovery. Oak Thistle added over 75,000 shares just now. Finally, Adam Aaron's tweet. So painful. 4 years after COVID, the industry-wide box office is still ludicrously anemic and AMC stock has slid to $4.48. Difficult to think about anything other than guiding AMC back in these challenging times, but greatness deserves praise. Sixers Joel Embiid 70 points. So he mashes up COVID, the box office, then the AMC price, and then guiding AMC back during challenging times, and then a basketball player. First of all, the box office does kind of have to do with AMC, a part of it, but it doesn't necessarily control how the company is doing financial-wise and everything around that. Right, there are a lot of other factors into it. But really, what is this picture for? He could have just left it at that, right? He could have just left it there. So here are some breakdowns from other people. First of all, is he saying the price is fake? You could take this as Adam Aaron mentioning ludicrous, meaning amusing or laughable through obvious absurdity, exaggeration, yada yada yada. Or it could mean meriting derisive laughter or scorn as absurdity, inept, false, or foolish. For example, you could say he looked ludicrous in that suit, or it was a ludicrous idea to go skiing in the summer. So is Adam Aaron saying that the price is fake? Or is he warning short sellers? If you take a closer look at the picture, what shows in the jersey is RL RLY. If you really dig deeper with your tinfoil hat, RLY definition means the act of utterance or of someone who warns. So is Adam Aron warning short sellers? Is he mentioning that the price is fake, or are these a little too far-fetched? Moving on, AMC Ortex numbers 9.46%, not really a change in those numbers. We are just watching that for the trend. 1.6 million shares available to borrow, 8,000 calls expiring in the money compared to 25,000 puts, and then 77,000 calls expiring out of the money. So there are more people betting bullish on this week as well as next week, which we don't see often with AMC, right? Short exempt volume 191,000, down from 205, but still extremely high. GameStop, 80,000 shares available to borrow, 1,000 calls compared to 3,000 puts expiring in the money. More people betting bullish, but as of right now, the stock doesn't look like it's going bullish for the rest of the week, and we're going to talk about it. Short exempts are also pretty high on GameStop over the past 3 days. Now, GameStop, $14.17, down about 5% on the day. Yesterday, we covered a lot about GameStop and where the cycle period is, where it's hitting, and we have a few different scenarios that play out. In previous cycles, and you can all see they hit this relative peak right now, where GameStop hit this relative peak. However, they all end in a decline. Now, we previously have said, listen, AMC doesn't have room to go through another cycle, otherwise it'll get delisted, or Adam Aron would have to reverse split it. GameStop, however, does have room to go through another cycle, which we do not want to see. We want to see this thing break out of the macro trend line by mid to late February, and this will not play through another cycle, in my opinion, right? Late February, early March at the latest. Or we play through another cycle, the last cycle, and GameStop, if you take a look at this arrow that follows through the whole macro wedge here, would come down and fill this gap, this long gap that was around January 8th or so of 2021, right before the squeeze, which would bring GameStop all the way down to about $4.60, all the way down to about $4.60 by July. That is not something that we would like to see. As of right now, GameStop is a watch. We really want to see it hold the demand zone up here instead of breaking lower, so just keep an eye on that. Finally, the 10-year Treasury has the largest short position now in history. Hedge funds are now short more than 889,000 contracts on the 10-year Treasury, the largest 10-year Treasury short position in history. What is this going to mean going forward, and are you guys still holding TMF? Now, before we get into the overall market as well as what is happening with crypto, because crypto is taking a dive, guys, get your 8.1% APY for 3 months and then 5.1% for the rest of the year, as well as 15 free stocks, each valued up to $2,000 per stock, level 2 order book data, access to trading options, going long as well as short as a retail trader. All you got to do, sign up using my link and make a deposit. It can literally be a penny from your bank account. Do it now before January is over. That link is in the top of the description or pinned in the top comments, along with the Discord link. Press the link, watch the trailer, and if you want to join, join. It's a coffee a month or a tea a month or whatever you guys drink, right? It is well worth it. Come talk stocks as well as crypto with the most amazing people. Overall, best vibes in Discord. There are no bad questions. Plus, we have options trading alerts in there, and I post my positions as soon as I take them. Now, markets are no longer expecting a rate cut in March of 2024. There's still a 42% chance of it, but this is a major shift in expectations because it was previously 90%. Now, is the stock market really pricing that in, that there's not going to be a rate cut? In my opinion, probably not. I think if there's no rate cut in March, the market is not going to react too hot. But as of right now, it is still at all-time highs, 482.96, getting a slight little cool off right now. This is very, very healthy. I'd watch the SPY come down to at least 482.40 before scaling higher, or 479.95. If we base at 479.95 today or tomorrow, that would be another good thing to see for the SPY. We just want to see volume hang out around where it's at and not surpass yesterday's volume. Overall, the push higher, volume increased, and as of right now, the push lower, volume is decreasing, which is exactly what we want to see for more bullish divergence looking at the volume. Now, Tesla, I added another call, 209.87, up 0.5% on the day, and we are about to come into earnings. Earnings is tomorrow on Tesla, and this thing is going to have a major shift one way or the other, and honestly, I'm just excited to watch what it's going to do. If you guys are playing Tesla, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know which way you're playing it. I still think Tesla has to finish its bull cycle. Now, Bitcoin is down over 20% from its ETF approvals, pulling $200 billion in value. Yeah, Bitcoin is selling off, and this is what you're going to see across the board, but Bitcoin is already up over 200% still. So yes, a little sell-off is healthy, I'm not worried at all. In fact, I did buy at these prices. It did hit a trend line that we had drawn out right around 38,500, which is a beautiful thing to see for Bitcoin. If we bounce off of this, that would be best case scenario, as we are still in this rising wedge pattern. Now, if we break below, you could watch for support with a dip under 38 to try and really hold that support, or you'd watch 36 and 34.5 for Bitcoin, which is also the next level on the fib. But overall, just watch for this. Even if it does retrace, we're too close to the halving to let go of all my Bitcoin. In my opinion, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I am adding more. Now, trading challenge 364.88, we got out of ticker symbol HBAN, and honestly, we could have stayed in. I didn't see a ton of weakness in the chart. However, I correlated it to a few other stocks we talked about on members only, including BlackRock, and it also just hit another rejection at this fib level, and this is a major rejection. It kind of looks like Mara or Riot, a major kind of pivot point, and I think once the market shows strength, this can snap higher, as well as BlackRock, as well as a few other plays that have been doing this, right? Kind of following some of the Magnificent Seven that had sort of the same setup where it gapped above, came down, filled the gap, and then fought resistance, right? You can see it back here in this previous bull cycle. January of 2021, very, very similar. Tested the same level on the fib, came back down, filled that, and then gapped higher. I do think there is still strength here. It's just I am not risking it for such a small challenge. Now, we did have a stop loss set, but that would have brought us down to about 330 something, and I want to use that money to scale it higher. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Again, this is not my personal account. This is funded by Frenetically themselves. We are trading with a small account with their cash that they provided, and if you want to join the trading challenge, we have been extremely profitable, as you can see. And remember, if you've watched the trading challenge video, how to set it up, which takes 3 minutes, you could be trading with a much larger amount, making the same gains with us by just copying my trade with a click of a button, and your broker would execute it. No other content creator is doing this. Overall, guys, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, get your free stocks. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.